Learning how to talk about myself in Spanish has been on my bucket list forever, okay? And I'm about to show y'all how I did it, boo. Okay, let's get into it. Hola, buenos, me llamo daljiimarax. If you're new here, we do solo travel, but we also learn languages, and right now we learn Spanish, boo. Alright, let's get into it. So, learning to talk about yourself, describe yourself, all that good stuff is so important. Like, think about situations where, like, you are ordering an Uber and you got to describe what your outfit is. You got to describe what you look like. You got to describe, you know, how you are. That is extremely important. If you get sick and you have to explain to your doctor how you feel. Say you're on a vacation in Costa Rica and you get sick because of something you ate and you got to go to the ER. Being able to explain that, like, I'm feeling drowsy, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that, is so important. What if you want to tell somebody, like, about your personality? Like, what if you know, met somebody on Tinder and they like, okay, tell me about yourself, like, what you got going on, and you want to describe, you know, things about your personality. Like, boo, you got to know how to talk about yourself in Spanish, okay? Let's get into how we gonna do this. So what I did was I split it up into 3 categories, okay? Which were physical, emotions, and characteristics. So what I did was thought about 3 things per category. So what I did was thought about 3 things per category and how I would describe myself. How I would describe myself physically, emotionally, and characteristics about myself. I felt like it was really, you know, nice to start with 3 each. Let's not try to do 10, 15, 20, okay, boo? We gotta translate these and we gotta put them into sentences and we gotta okay, we gotta do all the role playing. So, best thing to do when you want to, you know, start learning how to talk about yourself in Spanish, what would you tell somebody that you look like physically? How would you explain your emotions? If you're sad, if you're happy, if you're excited, how would you explain that? And how would you explain things about your personality? If somebody wanted to get to know the real you, what's inside, what would you say? For physical, I decided to say that I am 1, dark skin, I have curly black hair, but it's straightened now, and I'm 5 foot 5 inches, okay? So what I did was I went ahead and translated those into Spanish. So dark skin is piel oscuro o la morena, okay? Curly and black hair, but now it's straight. That was the next thing that I said. So I said, tengo el pelo chino, pero me lo aliso con la plancha, okay? So I'm telling you that my hair is curly naturally, but it's straight now, okay? I put my flat iron on that thing and straighten it down, okay? Ain't nothing getting straight until straighten it, alright? And then talk about my height. I'm 5 foot 5 inches. So in Espanol, that's mido 5 pies, 5 pulgadas. I gotta work on my enunciation with his pies. 5 pies, 5 pulgadas, okay? I'm 5 foot 5 inches. So if somebody was like, girl, what you looking like? Okay, you a catfish. I'll be like, this is what's going on, all right? All right, let's move on to emotions, all right? Oh, I forgot to say in Espanol, you know, physical is físico, so that's how you say that in Espanol. And emotions is las emociones. So let's move on to las emociones. All right, so at the moment, I just kind of like, what are things I've been feeling in my life recently? So numero 1 is going to be excited, anxious, and then frustrated. So excited in Espanol is emocionado, anxious is ansioso, and frustrated is frustrado. So these are how I have been feeling these last couple of months. It has been a year for me, honey. I'm ready for the new year. I'm ready to get into it, all right? And then lastly, characteristics on Espanol. Now let's move on to characteristics on Espanol. Las características. Okay? That's a tongue twister. That's a tongue twister, child. Ooh. So things about myself. I would say I'm charming, I'm impatient, pero adventurous. So to translate that in Espanol, that would be encantador for charming, impaciente for impatient, and inventorio for adventurous. So we got about 3, you know, translations per category for how I'm feeling, what I look like, and what I'm like, period, okay? I was like, it took me a while to really figure out, because I wanted to not just say any random words, but words that would be easy for me to retain. So we're gonna stop right there And you're going to go over that list of those categories that you chose to describe yourself. Go through that and kind of use that as fuel to be able to form sentences using Spanish words that you already know at this point, okay? So get those lists of categories together, okay? And then once you do that, then you're like, okay, how do I interpret this into a sentence? How do I, tell somebody this in a full sentence? That's what's important next. But I feel like right now, what's important is being able to express those verbs, being able to express those nouns, those things that you would describe yourself as, those one-off words, okay? Since we're talking about ourselves and talking, guess what? I got a whole ass video on teaching my dog Spanish. Yes, you heard that right. Mi perro is speaking español. Mi perro habla español, boo. If you want to know how I taught my dog Spanish, go ahead and watch the video. What are you doing?